Hey, hey, hey. It's episode, I don't know why I'm trying to do it different. It's episode 14, your favorite giggly witches. I'm Sadie.
I'm Pam.
And we have no plan today, so let's see how this goes. But in our defense, we were going to have a guest and they just needed to reschedule last minute. And we're both real good yappers, so we thought, let's just
What the hell?
let's see what happens. So what the hell?
What the hell? I forgot to put my chapstick on before we started.
Pam, I want you to tell me what you got for silly goofy time today.
Okay, I've got a lot of things.
Good, because I have none. I wrote silly goofy on my paper and then nothing.
Nothing to follow. No further questions. This was just one funny thing that I saw that I thought you would also appreciate, and
Okay.
we can do this together.
Oh, okay.
And like combine our things, because I saw this girl make a TikTok where she, and like, I'm sure she actually searched the questions afterward, but every time she had a question that she was gonna Google, she recorded herself saying it first and then made it into a video. And I thought that was really funny because I am a
do that. So embarrassing.
chronic Googler. I Google everything. So I thought that would be really a fun game for us to play.
Okay, I feel like we should each right now go to our Google search history and we each have to share one recent thing and also how you worded it.
Okay.
Because something that makes me laugh, I think I'm a pretty normal Google searcher, but like I feel like it was like my brother. I was watching him type in a Google question once and I was like, why are you wording it like that? Like it's like some people just don't know how to like Google something. Okay, let me see.
I'm gonna go to my computer and do Google because my phone's not as good.
Okay. I was like, there's not anything really that interesting on my Google app. I always just type it into the I don't type it into like the Google search. I just type it in, you can just type it into the website bar and then it automatically goes to Google. Oh, I'll tell you the last thing I Googled today because I was watching the last thing I go up first, I'll tell you and then I'll give you the context, was 1.73 meters in feet and inches.
I have this app. It's called Converter Plus, I think. I'll send it to you. It's the best thing in the entire world. It has converters for everything.
But I like, Googled literally. This is so specific because I was on TikTok earlier and just a video came up on my timeline of a girl that was like talking about how she DM'd, or she was a huge Hannah Montana fan back in the day.
Of course.
And she was thinking to herself, I wonder what ever happened to Mitchell Musso, who played the guy friend, Oliver, I think.
Yes.
And then she proceeded to show how she like DM'd him, not expecting him to respond, but then he DM'd back and they had this whole like funny little exchange. So then I, of course, have to just like, whatever, look up his Instagram. And I'm looking, he hasn't posted since 2023, if anyone's wondering. And then this is how my brain works. I need to know how tall everyone is. I don't know what that's about.
I do too. I have to Google everybody.
And then because I'm in Mexico, when I Google somebody's height, it always says it in meters or centimeters because every other country in the world doesn't use inches and feet. So then it said 1.73 meters. So then I had to Google. So it was Mitchell Musso height, and then it was 1.73 meters in feet and inches, which is 5'8", by the way. And that's the last thing I Googled.
I toured with this Canadian band once, and they would always talk like, and they would be like, oh, it's not that long of a walk. It's just whatever kilometers, meters, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would be like, what? And they would be like, oh, right, I forgot you're in freedom units.
It really is insane and does piss me off that we do that because...
But only, why?
It's random numbers, first of all. You can't tell me any differently. The metric system is logical. It's just units of 10. There's 10 centimeters in a meter. There's 10 meters in a kilometer, whatever the fuck, right? I might be missing some in betweens. I
Sure.
don't think so. Yeah, millimeters.
I don't know. I just took your word for it.
The math is easy. it's the centimeter or the inches, the feet, it's like 12 inches in a foot. And then there's like however many feet in a mile. There's no logic or reason to it. It's just random numbers.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't. I really
I
don't.
still don't know, even after all my international travels, how much a meter is. But it pisses me off that I don't, because it just makes more sense.
Well, this is
But we had to be special.
And it has all of these things that you can.
Temperature. I need that too. Celsius. I'm always telling people, oh, it's -30 in Wisconsin in the winter. And they're like, that's not that cold. I'm like, okay, well, you're thinking in Celsius.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
It's very cold. Like, how dare you? First of all, how dare you?
First of all.
What's your Google?
1 meter is 3.28 feet.
There you go. And 1.73 meters is 5 feet and 8 inches.
My good Google is just Satan and goats.
Oh, right. We were supposed to circle back on that. I'm going to be honest.
I forgot.
I haven't thought about it since.
Totally forgot until this moment, to be honest.
We'll circle back on that next week.
Yeah. Maybe Diana will.
6 months later, we're like, okay, we've got to the goats and the Satan thing.
Yeah. Okay, so another silly goofy that I had that I thought you would think is funny. I have two that I really thought you would think was funny. I have to find the photo for one. So while I'm doing that, I'll tell you the other one is that I started rewatching New Girl again recently. And I got to the episode where Schmidt is teaching her how to like be on Dice, aka like the Tinder on that show.
Oh, yeah.
And they're in the car and Jess is like, I just can't do that to someone. Like, that's not like nice or whatever she says. Oh, no. That's a lie. Different part. I also think that part's funny, but Schmidt was like, I just don't think you're ready for Dice. Like, blah, 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 blah. And they're going back and forth. And she goes, well, maybe you're right. Like, people tell me I'm gullible and I have no reason not to believe them. And I was like, that's Sadie.
I very much relate to Jess in a lot of ways, but I also relate to Nick a lot too.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I was like, that was Sadie right there, is what that was.
Yeah, really gullible. But it's never really gotten me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's good.
I feel like people are generally, other than the one time I was serially cheated on over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Other than that, and that was really
great.
traumatic. Other than that, nobody's really that I know of.
Yeah.
No, but I am. Yeah. No, I just assume. But I feel. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gullible.
Okay. Moving on. My next one is I took a picture for reference. I don't know if it's a good reference, but that is, ignore this lady.
Oh, like the lights kind of. Okay, is that where you were?
The clothing rack.
Uh-huh.
I tried to give it to scale. You see the door to scale.
Okay.
And I thought you would think this is funny, is that I'm shorter than the rack. And I thought that you would think that was funny. I was thinking about it the other day when I was there.
That's crazy. Every day, once a day. My Roman Empire is just thinking about being Pam's height. What would my life would be like? How would my life be different?
So different. Could never.
How would I reach
the
stuff?
top. Yeah.
How do you have a serious question? Do you have a stool that you like move around your apartment as needed?
Yes, I just had to give it back because it was not mine. So I've only have my little stool, so now I can't reach the very tippy top of things, but because I have really high cabinets.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. So I don't really use those. but
They're just empty.
they're just empty. No, they have like things that I don't go to that often because that I have to
Yeah.
climb for them.
Yeah. I also have like what's it called? Something blindness. Like if something's not
Oh,
in my
object permanence,
yeah, impermanence,
impermanence.
I think, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I have really bad object impermanence, which living out of a suitcase is really great for that because I only have a handful of things. So I don't
Yeah.
forget they exist, but that drives people crazy that I live with too, because I'm like, I need that out or I'll forget that it exists.
Yeah, no, same. I don't put a lot of things in the like fridge, like in the drawers.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Oh,
forget
goes
about
bad.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Drawers are just deathland.
Yeah.
And like there's so many books that I like if someone like puts it away or whatever, sets it somewhere else and it's just not in my line of sight. Like it'll be a good book that I'm really into, but I don't see it anymore. I just completely forget it exists. And then I'll find it a year later and be like, oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
never finished. Like,
Yeah.
it'll be half a day later and no,
Yep.
doesn't exist.
Yeah. No, I do the
So
same thing.
yeah. It's fun though. Sometimes you just rediscover things you were like, oh my God, I forgot that I had this.
Yeah. No, literally.
But that's why I'm kind of a messy Virgo, I think, because
Mhm.
Virgos are supposed to be like organized and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but everything does have to be out and I have my own system. And it might not look clean to you, but
Clean to me.
it's clean
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. No, this is like in piles. Everything's in a pile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that. Okay. My last silly goofy of the
Okay.
day. So I
Tell me.
work with Lady Aphrodite. We all know this. I have been feeling very disconnected recently. Like my head is not attached to my body
Yeah.
a lot, like the last few weeks. Honestly, probably since we got back from St. Augustine.
Yeah.
It's been very hard for me to get back into my routine. Um, I guess I said few weeks. That was literally 2 months ago.
No, it was 1 month ago.
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah, exactly
like
a month
exactly.
ago.
I was like 2. I was like, what month is it? Oh my God.
I don't even know.
I was like, sometimes I lose track of time, but
You're like, how long have I been in Mexico? That's what I
I was
mean.
like,
Things like
I need
that.
to leave soon. Oh my God. No, it's a 6 one. Sit here, just kidding. But oh my
That's
God,
what I mean. That was a perfect
yeah.
example. Things like that.
Yeah. You're like, it was like a year ago we were
Literally. So, I don't know. I've just been like very out of my routine, very disconnected from like brain and body and all the things.
Yeah.
And I always light her candle and then I go shower, like, and then I'll come back, do my makeup, like get dressed and all the things with her. This time, I got out of the shower. I'm brushing my teeth. I get out of the shower, I'm brushing my teeth. I know that's maybe a weird order to do that, and I don't want to hear it.
I'm like, what do I do?
I had the energy to get into the shower and I needed to grasp it before I lost it. So that's what I did. Anyway, I'm brushing my teeth and I walk around my house because that's the only way that I can keep myself going.
Brushing your teeth.
Literally. And I go and I look, flames. There are flames. The candle was literally this big. It had
Is it
burned
like
out.
is it like in a glass? Is it like a or it's like open? Okay.
It was like an open
Is there herbs and stuff on it?
on the outside.
Yeah. So the herbs caught.
I guess so, but never have they caught fire before. There was no, like, they weren't set even in a way when I left the candle
Yeah. Yeah.
for them to be. Also, like, the candle had only been on for like 15 minutes. So it's not even like it had like burned all the way out
Right.
to the edges of the candle yet.
Wow.
Burnt everywhere. I don't know if you can see.
It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, zoom in. Oh, oh wow.
So
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
see.
Okay, now I can see better. It was hard to
But
like for my
like,
brain to like grasp what I was looking at when it was zoomed out.
yeah. Up here
Oh
is
my God.
like there's like smoke on the wall. Her photo though, don't worry, her photo was fine, obviously. I think she didn't let it catch, but literally it dripped all of it, all over. It's like
Oh
all
my
the way
God.
down. There's wax like down the wall, everything. I have to like still pull it out. I just like haven't had that. I like cleaned it up the most I could, and then I just haven't had the energy to like scrape everything yet.
Oh my
Um,
God.
so that happened. And I was like, what the hell? What the hell, lady? What the fuck?
How could you let this happen? What are you saying? What do you think?
Like I threw my toothbrush, I ran, I was literally naked and afraid. Like I was like, so what's happening? So then I got dressed, put the candle, I like had to get water, pour the candle, like pour it all over the candle, all the things. And um so I tried to tune into it and be like, did the herbs just catch? Like, did you do this? Like, what happened? And I couldn't get anything because I was like freaked out. You know, when
Yeah.
you're like really like frazzled, you can't
Yeah.
tune in at all. And so later that day, I was actually doing a session with Hannah. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna ask Hannah about it. And she goes, Lady Aphrodite said, you need to wake up. And she said, wake up. You need to wake up again. Like get back
Uh,
into it. And she was like, well, I had to get your attention somehow. And I was like,
oh,
okay,
just burn your house
you
down.
do not burn my house down next time. Like, and then she goes, oh yeah, she also says she wants a new altar. And I was like, yeah, I'll get there. Like,
Oh, because you destroyed this one? Is that why you want a new altar?
so that was on Saturday. And then yesterday I like slept in because I did an event on Sunday and like was like really recovering my energy because I had done like a ton of readings for people in like a very short amount of time.
Yeah, energy
So
hangover.
so I was slept in a bit yesterday, or slept in, quote unquote, and just sat in my bed and scrolled on TikTok. This never happens. These are not videos that I get normally, but I got like 7 in a row of people showing their altars to Aphrodite. And I was like, I get it. I know. I know I have to build you a new altar
Like,
now.
she's like, chop, chop.
And she's like, just giving you ideas, just putting it out there that I need another one here now. I still haven't done it. I need to do I just haven't had time. Um and and then once I finally was like, okay, I get it, like I hear you. The next video was this woman I had never seen before, and she was like, let's talk about fire safety with deities. And I was like, oh, you think you're funny? Do you? You think you're funny? You got jokes?
It is crazy, like, what the algorithm brings on
Yeah,
a psychic level.
it really is. It's so
It's so
I'm
weird.
sure they have so much
Spooky.
fun with it now that they like this is like something that they have like access to
Yeah. I
just
mean,
to
it
like
makes
play around with.
sense because historically, like, spirit can work with electricity. Like, that's always been a
Yeah.
mean. Or, I mean, that's why candles are a big part of spiritual practices. I mean, I think like all religions have like candles and burn incense and have different variations of, using stuff like that because electricity is fire energy. And then once
Yeah.
electricity was a thing, I mean, spirits, they make light bulbs flash. They
Yeah.
talk to them through static. That's what any like paranormal investigator, it's all electricity. And so it would make sense. I mean, and like I get that this sounds kind of out there, but that spirit could communicate with us through our algorithm and like
Yeah.
manipulate that in some ways.
Yeah.
Which also brings me to like, the people that like send out like, oh, like this, they're doing like collective readings where they're like, if this reading showed up on your algorithm, whatever, there's no hashtags, there's no whatever. I scroll past the vast majority of
Every
those.
time. Yeah.
However, sometimes there's something in me that goes, watch this one. And
Yes.
then it's the most like on point thing imaginable. And it's like so crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like I do think to an extent that like maybe, maybe there is a way that like spirit or, spirits can tap into that in some way and sometimes bring us things through our algorithm because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Some stuff where it's like I haven't Googled this, I haven't texted this to anybody. It's literally only in my brain.
A thought. Yeah.
And then it comes up. And sometimes it's, weird stuff like an ad. You're like, oh, I need to go to Target for toilet paper, and then you get a toilet paper ad. I don't know, whatever. Maybe
Yeah.
it's tapped into our brain anyways. But I mean, psychic energy is also, I think, tapped into that same electricity, fire, whatever.
Frequency.
So
Yeah.
radio frequency. Yeah. I mean, anytime you learn about intuition, it's like the metaphor is like, it's your radio tower, like
Mm-hmm.
literally. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very interesting.
It is very interesting. So anyway, I thought that was
Conversation,
very
but
funny. Yeah.
silly
Yeah.
goofy.
Silly
That's
goofy.
crazy. I'm glad your house didn't burn down.
Honestly, it was very contained, which is like why.
Yeah, I was like, you need to come up with some safety measures for the future around your.
Yeah. But like that's also like why it felt like it wasn't just like, oh, the herbs caught fire, because
Yeah.
it was literally like it looked like it was like in a bubble. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
like literally the candle was here and also like her photo is here.
Yeah.
So how did her photo not
Yeah.
catch?
It is crazy. Like I've done um like well, I mean, I've done tons of candle spells, tons and tons. Not as much while I travel because I'm afraid to damage Airbnbs with it. But boy, back in the day, my house had a lot of fireworks on it, my furniture.
Whoops.
Oops. Um, but it is really cool. If for anyone that's maybe like newer to spell work or hasn't like considered this aspect when it comes to you doing any candle spells, like really like read into the way the wax melts, read
Mm-hmm.
into how the flame is burning, or like if it goes if the flame goes out before the candle burns out all the way, or if it burns really fast or if it burns really slow. One thing I always thought was interesting back in the day, I used to do group spells for every new and full moon.
Mm-hmm.
And I just used tea lights and I had this big tray and I would go through this whole ritual where I'd carve the initials for every person and whatever, do this herb spells, whatever. But I'd light all the candles at the same time. And they'd all burn very differently. They're all in the same draft, any air that might be moving in my house. Some would be very steady and slow, some would be flickering really fast, some would burn all the wax through really quickly, some would, it was always interesting. So I would sit there and I would, and I had like a little chart, a little seating chart on my paper of like whose candle is whose, and I would take little notes of like if anyone's really stood out, and I would message them separately besides the like collective message and just be like, hey, like this weird thing happened.
Yeah.
So it's just cool. So there's more to just like lighting the spell candle and just letting it do its thing. Like you can really read into the information it's sending, or like burning a bay leaf. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you light it and it like goes out immediately and barely burns, and you're like, oh, okay, so that's not going to manifest very fast. But yeah, sometimes it goes and it's out, and you're like, okay, I guess that one's going to be easier to manifest probably,
Yeah.
or like, or it's coming faster. So it's very cool. It's very interesting. I've said a million times. Well, I don't think on this podcast, but back in the day, if you ever listen to Goddess things, I was always talking about I love fire. But my
Me
chart is mostly
too.
fire, so that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting. It's really cool.
It is very, very interesting. I don't know what it's called. What is it called? Do you know when you like read the wax? It has like a specific name and I don't remember what it is. Let me
I don't
Google it.
know. Probably something Mancy.
Yeah. No, it is. I just can't remember what.
No, I don't remember either. But I always do. That's why too, if you're buying spell candles like on Amazon, like I would always buy the like little chime
Mm-hmm.
candles that are like different colors and stuff. I prefer the ones that drip wax because you can read the wax.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of like waxless candles that just burn clean and nothing's left. And I don't like those personally because it's fun to see the candle drips and you know, see what's going on with it. You can do whatever you feel called to, but that's something to look for in a product description. If it says like waxless or wax free, there's not going to be any drips or melt for you to read if you like are interested in doing that.
Yeah.
So pro tip. Look out for that. Because I remember I bought a pack of candles and I was like, what the heck? None of these are dripping anything. They're just disappearing completely. And then I looked at the packaging and it was like wax free, as if that was great. And I was like, not for witches, man.
Yeah.
And who else is using these?
Wait, okay, so two things. I did have one candle that was wax free because I did buy it just for like my like sconces that I have. And I was like, I don't need those to be dripping everywhere.
Yeah.
But then I used one in a protection spell and it huge wax puddle. So like I was able to read that, which is so interesting. Also,
I did find the wax-free ones if you cover them in herbs. The herbs fuck up the waxless thing and then they will keep them out. So I don't know if that was that in that case.
I don't think I even had herbs on it.
Put stuff on it. Sometimes it'll whatever messes it up.
And then according to Google, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but it's caromancy. Caromancy.
For wax?
Yeah, Carroa. No.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard that actually.
CY.
I believe everything Google tells me.
Me too.
Wait, I have a silly goofy.
Okay.
I can't remember what, maybe it'll come to me. I can't remember what happened recently that it made me think of this, but I'm curious if you thought this way too. Like when you're little, you know, and like you just kind of assume your parents know everything, or maybe this is me being gullible. I don't know. I am gullible, but I kind of
so this happened. Yeah.
But then so like they like tell you certain things and you just kind of take everything at face value. And then you like much later in life like realize like that's not true, and how it took you way too long to realize, like until you like said it out loud and you were like, oh wait.
Yeah.
Because my dad is very like he likes to like joke around, tease or whatever, so he'd always tell us stuff as a joke as kids, but as a kid you don't understand that. It's very literal.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know, I didn't understand it. So there was numerous things that until I was way too old, but when I went, oh wait, that can't be true. Do you have one like that?
Yes. I'll tell my story in a second, but there is this dad on TikTok who has started just recording his conversation. His kid asks like rapid fire questions. So he just now says whatever. Like he just like makes things up now. So that made me think of that. I'm like, this kid is gonna learn a lot of things when he gets older. But when I was young, when I was little, I was probably like 4 or 5. We had these like paintings in our like family room. And one day my mom, I think I like asked about them or something. And my mom was like, oh yeah, I painted that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
And I was like, wow, okay, cool. And then probably when I was like 16, maybe 15 or 16, she said something, I can't remember like how it came up again. And I was like, well, you told me you painted that. And she was like, and you believed me? And I was like 4. Of course I believed you. Like,
why would I think you're lying about that?
Of course I did.
I have 2 hair related ones, both things my dad would say. One was that for whatever reason, when I was little, my dad always called my ponytail my Tony tail. I have a cousin named Tony and he said it was named after him. I don't know. So, I mean, I was a teenager before I said it out loud for some reason. And my friend was like, what did you say? And I was like, my Tony tail. I was like, oh, I think I'm going to put my hair in a Tony tail. And she's like, what? And I was like, And like I had seen it like probably in like a book, like a girl with a
Yeah.
ponytail, like written out, but it didn't like process to me. I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
either or. I don't know. Like I just assumed it was like another thing people said, and I
Yeah.
wasn't the only one, or it wasn't just a joke in my family. Like it was like it was a joke amongst all of us or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then but like it was like one of those things where like once you say it out loud, you go, oh.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which is even worse, I think I was like maybe 11 or 12 when this came out of my mouth, and I went immediately, split second, I went, oh wait. But I have a colic in my hair right here, or a colic.
Yeah,
And
same.
my dad has the exact same one. And my dad grew up on a farm, a dairy farm,
Oh no.
cows. And we spent every weekend there almost as kids helping out with the cows. So my dad,
Yeah.
I was like, why is it called? I was like, what is this? Why is it called a cowlick? And he was like, well, when you were little, a cow licked you there. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That made sense.
Made
Cow
sense.
blubber is really thick. I was around cows all the time. I was about mouth height a lot of that time. I was like, and my dad grew up on the farm, so why wouldn't they have licked
Yeah.
him there too? And then I don't know. I think probably in middle school or sixth grade going to a dance or something, back then we were like straightening our
Yeah.
bangs. And I was like, oh, I just hate my cowlick. Da, 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 da. I wish that I wish that cow never would have licked me. And I was like, wait.
That can't be right.
I was like, that
Wait a moment.
never came up, so I never really
Yeah.
questioned. And I thought that a cow licked me. I was like, logically, that makes sense. I've always been around cows. So yeah.
Checks out.
Checks out. And there's a lot. There's a lot of them. I don't know why I was thinking about that the other day. I feel like something came up, but anyways. Oh, I was just talking about my childhood, and someone was like, so what do you have? Because I feel like you don't sound like a normal child. I was like, I have various theories, but I'm not really sure.
Okay, again, have been watching New Girl, and I just also watched the episode where Nick and Schmidt pitched to Lori from Shark Tank, and Nick is like what you just said. I have a lot of theories that just made me think when Nick goes, thoughts and notions. Thoughts and notions.
I have a lot of thoughts and notions.
Yeah.
I think that the most enlightening, Pam and I were talking a lot before this episode. We should have recorded all that, but
I know.
most enlightening, honestly, is talking to Pam and knowing we've had so many similar experiences and being like, oh yeah, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Oh, because things are so normal to you and you've just always
Mhm.
been the way you are and you assume everyone is that way.
Yeah.
TikTok obviously is very enlightening as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, it's like when you say it out loud, you're like, oh wait, that's pretty.
Yeah. My friend Ariel is like that for me because she's like very educated on like all the neurodivergent things.
Yeah.
So it's been very helpful to be like, oh.
I do think that the past, I feel like it's been like 1 year only that I've really like acknowledged that my brain is different and I don't know exactly what goes on with it. And I don't really feel, I don't know, called to like get an official diagnosis or whatever. But maybe someday I will. But I do feel like the awareness has helped so much. Like there's so many things that used to just be like a complete like nothing pushes past that, or like that's like I can't do that thing or whatever. That's just not who I am. And where I go, oh, that's because of this.
Yeah.
So maybe I could.
Yeah.
Maybe I
You
could
just have to find
make
the way that works for you.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah. Like, oh, maybe I could just like, oh, okay. That's okay. I understand. That's the way my brain works. So maybe I could just like decide to maneuver this creatively or whatever. And I feel like my world has opened up so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like at first it really affected my mental health in a difficult way because I was really struggling with like realizing how hard my whole life was not understanding these things and how hard I was on myself. And I got like kind of like really depressed for a little bit. over all of these realizations, like I just felt really sorry for my younger self, like as a child and a teenager, and understanding why I was having such difficult times, and like how like nobody understood, and like I was always just like the sibling that just was like, I don't know, just like different and weird, which I still am because nobody else in my family gets it, but now I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's why I am the way that I am, and why certain things are harder, but also why in certain ways I'm really extraordinary and like have superpowers. And anyways, all that to say, I'm grateful for the internet and also friends like Pam that make me realize things about myself, because I think just that awareness, educating yourself on what you're going through, I don't know, it's really empowering.
It is. And also I think part of why it's empowering is because our society is very like one track minded. So
Yeah.
we're like, this is what you have to do and this is how you do it. So when your
Yeah.
brain differs from that track, you're like, why is everything so hard for me? And everyone's like, oh, it's because you're lazy. Or,
Yeah.
oh, it's because you're not trying hard enough, or whatever,
Yeah.
fill in the
You're not
blank.
disciplined, you're
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, you don't understand.
You don't
I
get it.
literally cannot do that.
When I was taking Adderall, I don't
I
anymore.
literally can't.
I don't take it anymore because it was giving me heart palpitations.
Yeah.
But when I was taking Adderall and I was just like able to go about my day, I was like, this is
This
how
is what
everybody lives. I was like, and I got like angry about it because I was like, but like same thing. I was like so upset at how much easier my life could have been
Yeah.
for so many years.
Yeah.
And for so much time of just like, if I had understood like, okay, it's not because I'm lazy, it's not because I have a problem like with motivation, it's because I am very motivated. I really really want to do these things.
Yeah.
It's just like my brain is not letting me do these things, and having being able to like understand like, oh, okay, I don't have to do it the way that everybody else is doing it because that's not going to work for me, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I used to sob and beg my mom, please don't make me go to school, because I was so uncomfortable there. I just
Mm,
felt like I wanted to die anytime I was in school, but I loved to learn. And I was like, Mom, please just ask the teachers if I, because this to this day, this is how I learned. This is how I mean, this is what infuriated me in college too, because I was like, I'm just gonna read the textbook and like I'll ace the test. Like, just let me teach myself.
mm,
Um, when I read stuff, I remember it forever. And I would, just the social aspect of school was just terrible for me. I just felt so uncomfortable. I don't know, whatever it was. I mean, I still like all of school was uncomfortable. I hated it. I had really good friends, but I still was so uncomfortable all the time. I remember in high school, like, you know, you had to check who you had like lunch with. And if like I didn't have someone that I like was close to, like lunch, like made me want to throw up every day. Cause like I just
mm.
was so like, I don't even know. But regardless, understanding like and it's so weird too, because I feel like a very outgoing person, but I have a really difficult and I've grown a lot in this, but all of this to say, just understanding, like as a child, like, oh, like I was so uncomfortable. I was so brilliant and so smart, and I got like such great grades and whatever. But I would beg and scream and cry, like, please don't make me go like that. Like I was being sent to a prison camp every day. I was like, please, like let me. I'll do all the work, like, you know. And yeah, just being like, okay, I think like I just like social interactions I didn't understand and I had to learn, and it was really uncomfortable. And I don't know how this is now, whatever. But it just, all this to say, I feel like I just have a lot of understanding,
Yeah.
learning about other people's experiences and having more grace for my own, and not just being like there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
I was always like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Like, why am I so like nervous and scared and agitated? And like all the time. Like nothing, everybody's nice to me at home. Everybody's nice to me at school. I was always a favorite student, but I was just there like, didn't talk to anybody, like not a peep come out. Just was like, anyways, my brain's weird.
Yeah.
That's it.
Weird and whimsical.
Weird and whimsical, baby. But
well,
all that to say, this actually goes into, I feel like, so we have the full moon.
Yes.
Which is today at the time of this release. It's in a couple days at the time of recording, which is kind of, I felt like I dropped a message inside the Hot Witch Scripting Club group chat, which joined the waitlist in the Snapchat. I don't even have Snapchat. I'd never said that word out loud in 10 years. In the what's it called? The notes. But about this, but I wanted to say, and you were sharing how you've been feeling agitated.
Yeah. So irritable.
But it's a full moon in Aries, which I love Aries energy.
Yes.
And I both have Aries energy. You have sun and moon. Sun and rising.
Sun and moon and Mercury.
And I have moon. And that's it. But Aries is the ram and really wants to just move forward.
Yes. Charge.
Charge. So I think, like a very like kind of like obvious way to look at this full moon would just be to be like, what's stopping you from charging forward? Like release that, like imagining the ram and like what's tripping up the ram. His little hooves are getting stuck in some weeds or something. How do we get rid of that? Like what do you need to release so you can move forward? I think is a great thing to reflect on or journal. But I was also thinking about how like I think like new moons and full moons, we like the energies are more intense, especially full moons. And it's so hard, but like not only surrendering, but leaning into what you're experiencing right now. Do you literally have that written down as a message?
Do you
if you're not watching, Pam's face is like, no.
Do you follow Aline yet?
No, did she say that?
She just said that. She was like, the theme for this week is lean in.
Oh my God, that's literally like my whole like meditation this morning because I was just giving myself a really hard time. And I was like, let's just lean in. And so then I sat in my bed all day and I ate my food in my bed and I painted in my bed and I
just saw your painting. It was very, very cute.
Thank you.
Wait, I'm like, let me see if I can find her again. I hope it's.
But just like using like what you're experiencing as information, like completely neutral information.
Yes.
Really? Is that what she's saying?
So she says,
I swear I have not seen this. This is so crazy.
She posted this 14 hours ago. It's on her story, so it'll be gone by the time this airs. But
oh my God.
She says,
I want to call her right now and be like, look, I didn't see her story. Like, check. I didn't see it. Like, you can see.
I'm so excited to talk to her. Honestly, it's like a month away. It's on November 12th, I think, that you and I are recording with her.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But anyway, she says, as mentioned, this week is about leaning in, which also means leaning into what comes up. As we approach the Aries full moon on Thursday, remember that Aries energy is direct and wants to confront things head on and get it done quickly. If old feelings resurface, lean in and channel the Aries fire, not to attack anyone, but to reignite the conversations that need to happen.
Wow.
Isn't that so crazy?
That's exactly because like last week I was feeling very energized. I got a lot of work done. I was like having a really great hustle week and I was like, fuck yeah. And I got a lot done. So it wasn't like I didn't utilize that energy. But when you're in like hustle and you're in flow and you just kind of feel you're in this almost like manic energy.
Yes.
But in a good way.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is gonna last forever. I can't imagine not feeling like this. And so then anytime it ends, I at least, and I imagine I'm not alone in this, inevitably become very upset with myself.
Same.
And I get frustrated because I'll like plan out my whole next week of like, I'm going to do this,
Yes.
this, and this day. My whole calendar's blocked out this week. Oh, I have a chill
Mhm.
right now. I feel like this is really important. Everybody lean in.
Lean in.
So yeah, I had a great like Friday, Saturday. I was going to take Sunday off, but I just still felt the flow. So I got a bunch on Sunday too. I had a great like 3 day like hyper focus flow and it was great. And
Mm.
then on Monday, I was like really excited to keep it going and made all these plans. And I was like, I can't do anything. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done. The energy cut off. And it makes sense. I'm going to get my period in a few days. So there's that few days before that your energy slows way down.
Mhm.
And I was getting angry about it. I was getting frustrated. And even though I'm well aware of my cycle and I also know the full moon's coming, I'm still like, I want to
Yeah.
fight with myself. And I was like, wait a minute, Sadie, you're better than this.
Yeah.
So like, and so yesterday I was like, okay, I'm going to release everything I plan to do. What do I actually want to do today? Like, really, like, what do I want to do today? No judgment, no arguing with myself. No, I got plenty done. There's no urgency here. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's always
Chilling.
life or death, right? It's like, I
Yeah.
have to get this done.
Yeah.
Like, I literally don't.
Yeah.
So like yesterday, I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to put on a cute outfit. I want to go walk around for like 3 hours. Just want to go on a really long walk and like find some like really great tacos. And I was like, I never drink soda. I was like, I want to drink a Coca-Cola for some reason. Probably because my
Dude, a
period is
Mexican
coming.
Coke is so
Oh,
good.
they brought it in the glass bottle.
So good.
It was so good. And then I had a bellyache.
Mm.
I never drink soda. But anyways, it was and then I came home and I watched Suits, which is a great show. I know I'm really
good.
late on that. And I didn't, whatever. And then today I was like, okay, crack my knuckles. I'm going to get stuff done today because I took yesterday off. I'm good. I'm refreshed. I'm ramped. Nope. Nothing coming to me. And I started getting pissed again. Oh, Sadie, come on, just focus, you dummy. You know, all that shit that goes on in our brains. Why can't you just get this done? Whatever. Literally nothing important. I wanted to edit a bunch of videos. Literally doesn't matter. I can post them a year from now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. And then again, I was like, okay, slow the fuck down. What's going on here? Oh, you're gonna get your period in a day or two. Like you don't have creative energy. Just like what do you actually want to do today? There's nothing urgent besides your recording later. How do you get in the good energy? And I was like, okay, well, I want to eat snacks in my bed and I want to watch some like uplifting videos and I want to paint. And so I did that and I was like, wow, the world didn't end and nobody died.
Yeah.
And you know what else happened? Like, I made 2 sales and I didn't post, I didn't promote, I didn't write, I did no work today. And guess what? Money still came in. I'm like, huh,
amazing.
I survived. It's amazing. I didn't die. Nothing happened. And I just had a great day instead of sitting there probably scrolling all day, feeling awful and mad at myself that I'm not doing something.
Yeah.
So, Pam, how are you going to lean in this week?
Lean in. I have, well, Aries also rules the first house of identity and self and ego and all the things. So what I'm really feeling this week, and I just did a whole Instagram stories series on this, which I guess you'll also miss if you're listening to this on Thursday. But
sorry.
But about like, okay, here are like all different things. I was like, I need class participation right now. I want to change my offerings and my content. Like, help me curate
Okay,
this
tell
so that we
the
can like curate it
questions
together.
so people can DM you or
oh my god,
message you if they didn't see your stories.
So smart.
So everybody
take notes.
Lean in.
Pay attention. I took a selfie at the doctor's office. Because I pretended like I was fixing my hair because I felt weird that I was at the doctor's office and taking a selfie so that I could post the story. I still ended up posting hours later, but whatever. Okay, so I would love to know, with what you're going through, what you're experiencing, what you're wanting to learn, what offerings would feel supportive to you? Like, what type of offerings would feel supportive? If you would prefer like Zoom calls or like over email contactless kind of sessions. If you would prefer, I hope I explained this correctly, but like individual offerings or offerings that combined modalities, like tarot and astrology, or tarot and human design and astrology, things like that. And then I asked, no one has answered this yet, but that's okay. What is one thing that you wish spiritual businesses or readers or like practitioners offered that you would like haven't, that you're not getting? And then I asked how they like consuming content. And then if they would prefer one-off sessions or like a multi-session option. And then I'm just going to throw this out here because I'm talking about it as a thank you for participating in this class survey. And because, as I said last week, my readings are going to go bye-bye soon. I'm doing 25% off my one-on-one readings for a limited time. I'm saying limited time because I don't know how long I want to do it for, so it's limited. With code SOS25.
Love.
Also,
okay, everybody.
I have a ton of medical bills I also have to pay. So SOS. And I wanted some class participation to help me. Like, help me help you kind of thing.
Okay, let me summarize. Everybody, open your phone right now. Go to Pam's @Velvet Snake Oracle. Click message. And you don't have to answer every single one of these, but let Pam know.
Yes.
Also, I'd just like to add, like, what's your favorite thing about Pam? Tell her.
Or a fun fact.
I would like
will
you to
also
tell
accept
Pam
fun
your
facts.
favorite thing about her or a fun fact. What would you like to see more from Pam in terms of offerings or content? What excites you about Pam? Me completely paraphrasing. Do you like things that are like one-on-one and they're live and they're face-to-face, or do you prefer just like placing your order and the universe delivers and typing it enters your email inbox? A single modality or a combined modality. I think that's cool. You could probably come up with like a menu where it's like
that's what I'm thinking of doing.
Yeah. And are you looking for like a one-off session or multi-session type deal, like a package? I feel like that too. You could give the option. What I usually do is do like a single session and just be like, if you want to continue working together, these are the options. And I'll like discount the package by the amount you paid for the first session. So your first session was free if you decide to. That's what I like to do.
Interesting.
So I hope your thumbs are going, you're tippy typing away, and you're letting Pam know what kind of offerings you would love to. Pam is studying lots of amazing things, human design. She's already amazing at tarot. She'll say, "Oh, I'm still learning," but she's stop. And she's also all very gifted at astrology, even though she will also deny that she's a professional at that too. But she needs to. Everybody tell Pam what a professional, smart, well-developed psychic astrologer, tarot reader, and soon to be human design expert she is.
Very exciting.
Do it now.
Yeah. Or else. Yeah, so I don't even remember why we started talking about that.
Well,
Oh, we were talking about how I was
leaning
leaning
in.
in. Yeah. So I'm leaning in anyway, long story short. I'm leaning into this like change, leaning
Mhm.
in to really discover what I feel on like an identity level, on how
Oh
I'm
yeah, yeah,
feeling.
yeah.
Like, because Aries is
Well,
first house of identity and things like that.
you need to
What I'm
identify
feeling.
as the professional,
Yeah.
or I think, because I feel like you always are kind of like, oh, well, I'm still learning. Or at
Yeah.
least when we talk, I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, so freaking am I. So like,
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely leaning in. I've also been having like a lot of like personal triggering experiences happening. So leaning into where those emotions are stemming from and
yeah,
how I
it's
can
all
dig into that.
information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Triggers are amazing actually, because when someone or something is like, one of the things I find most interesting is I'll be following someone for a long time and then all of a sudden they'll start triggering me and I go,
Yes.
that's strange. But then, because, we're little spiritual baddies, I know better, we go, okay, I've always loved them. I've always
Yeah.
been inspired by them. Now all of a sudden they're triggering me. What is it that they're doing that I don't think I have permission to do? Like a way they're expressing themselves or a way they're living or
Yeah.
a way they're speaking or what they're talking about or whatever. It's always information. Triggers are some of the most important pieces of information you can gather
Hmm.
because it's like 99.9% about us getting triggered. I mean, unless somebody's like literally personally attacking you and
Yeah.
you're getting triggered, like, yeah, obviously they shouldn't be doing that. But if you're like watching someone or like a friend all of a sudden, just the way they're living their life is like really bothering you, but it's like not them like, like personally like trying to like
Yeah.
piss you off, but you're all of a
Yeah.
sudden triggered. It's like, oh, okay.
Something's happening
Like,
here.
hmm. Like, why is that annoying me so much recently? Because I definitely have had that where like, yeah, like someone I followed for a long time, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, they're so annoying. Oh, I'm like, okay, Sades, what's going on over
Yeah.
there? I think that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense for Aries energy too, because it wants to be
Yeah.
really like big and bold and expressive. So it's like somebody's triggering you because they're probably expressing themselves in some way you don't feel safe to or allowed to or whatever. You feel
Yes.
cringy or embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Speaking of cringy, my friend just sent me. He's like a friend that I only talk to very rarely. Like, we'll text each other for our birthdays, and like, that's pretty much it. I've known him literally since I was 2 years old. So, like, we'll always be in each other's lives, but we're not close anymore. But he just texted me this morning, speaking of cringe. Oh my God, where is he? He texted me a screenshot from a Facebook memory
Oh my God.
of me writing on his wall. I don't even know if they call it that anymore, but I was writing on his Facebook wall and I said, Joe, you have my tennis ball. I want it back, please. And he goes, must have been a really special tennis ball. But we were just like, I was like, dude, I'm so afraid of what comes up in people's Facebook memories of like writing on each other's walls. And he goes, I was such a loser, cringe every time I see these memories. And I was like, oh my God, the Facebook memories are scary. It was a wild, wild west
I
of the internet
never
back then.
Facebook, yeah, I mean Facebook was the first
Mm,
taste we had of, well, we had MySpace, but
MySpace,
like but
widespread.
Facebook,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Facebook was different, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what was like Instagram, I think, came around when I was in college, but
Mhm.
it wasn't like it was still in its warm up phase, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So everyone was still like all about Facebook. I don't even know. I remember getting my Instagram sophomore year because I can picture the house I lived in with 5 other girls. Whatever. I have that very specific memory. But me and my friends were well, first of all, this is a top tier everybody, well, at least millennials can relate. Of the unhinged nature in which we would take our digital cameras out and take pictures all night. And then we would just
Every
upload
photo.
And then
Every
this
single
is
photo.
and then like remember like with your friends like coming up with like the Facebook album names, like it was
Yes.
like a quote of the night
Quote of the night.
or like the like lyrics from like a song
Yep.
you listened to that night, and it was either like super like emo or like
Yeah.
not like emo like necessarily like also emo, but like not necessarily like emo, but just like emotional, like
Yeah.
deep, or it was like really like dumb and random and made
Yes.
no sense. I kind of want to open Facebook and go through our Facebook album names right now. Or we'll circle back on that next week.
Yeah.
But that, and then like that was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I
what
mean.
a
The
time to
wild
be
west
alive.
of the
The
internet.
freedom. We were just like, this was my night. Look at it all.
Yeah.
Which also reminds me, I just reposted something on my stories, like this little like tweet that was like, we just don't moon the way we used to. I was like, that was a really, I don't know if that was like my town. We were mooning each other all the time. That was a very
Really?
big thing to moon. And first of all, anyone who liked that story, I looked because I was like, you guys are real ones.
I did not like it.
We
I
really
don't think we had a mooning town.
we really don't moon like we used to. But I'm just imagining, like, I'm like, I know for certain, like when we would take pictures sometimes, like people would whip around and like moon it quick. That's what made me think of.
I don't think
And
we
then
did that.
we would leave videos
On the
each
Facebook
other,
wall.
on the Facebook wall. And me
Yeah.
and my friend's favorite, like, we thought it was so funny that it was such a funny joke that we would like leave like a whole video, but we would pretend the volume wasn't working. So we'd be like, but we were, I don't know, we thought that was so funny. And we just did the most unhinged for the whole. I miss those days. I mean, people are still unhinged and crazy on the internet.
But it's
I guess I
different.
could just embrace it and be more unhinged because what do I have to lose? But the days where we would just
No, I don't think I would like to grow up on the internet these days. I'm very happy we grew up with the internet that we grew up with, and that was that.
Yeah.
Because it's scary.
What I think about a lot is just the filters.
I was just looking. I was like, I don't look like that. I don't look like
even,
that.
like, and I try to maintain balance. Like I try not to always use them unless I'm really, when I'm not using them, when I'm ovulating. My skin looks great. I'm glowing. I'm feeling good. And then like now I'm going to be using a filter this week, probably. But I also try to like pick ones that are like maybe just a little bit smoothing, but the way they will like, I clicked on one the other day and I made a story with it because I was like, I wish I looked like this. This is crazy. Like I want to bring this to like a plastic. I mean, it basically just like pulled my eyes up a little like this. And I was like, I could probably do that with Botox, and like maybe plumped my lips a little, but it's crazy that like, I can't imagine being like 11, 12, 13-year-old little girl and having access to those filters.
And they're doing like a full beat of makeup.
Yeah. Just the complete dysmorphia that you experience. Because like I like for my mental health, I try not to use them because then I see me regular and I'm like, ugh. It just fucked up.
It is. It's not fun. It's so crazy. I think I only use, even the one that I just put on my story, I was like, I don't really feel like I look like that. But I was at the doctor's office, so I was like, take a photo quick. I think the one that I use a lot is called Natural. I don't know how to say this name by whoever it's by, but I can maybe share it.
That's fine.
But it doesn't like it doesn't really do, it just like smooths and that's it.
Here's a life hack for everybody. If you just do the Instagram camera with no filter and then you swipe over once to the Paris filter, it just smooths and it doesn't do anything else.
Yes.
I'll be honest, that's what I'm doing most of the time. I try not to do it, but I'm like, ugh. But at least it isn't transfiguring my face into somebody else.
I know, where you're just like,
I try. It's rough out here, folks. I'm like, oh my God, these kids, like never, it affects me as an adult
Yeah.
with a fully formed frontal lobe or whatever the fuck it's called.
Well, maybe not.
555. Maybe. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. Anyways.
Getting that you're an hour behind me now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Um, oh, I was gonna tell a funny little manifestation story that
Oh yeah.
it's just a lighthearted, it's nothing crazy, but whenever I want to share this story and invite everyone to like make their brain turn a little bit to think about, because I think it's important when the universe winks at you
Mm.
to just be grateful.
Yeah.
And I thought this was kind of a cute little manifestation. So yesterday I went for my long ass walk and I was like, I wasn't, like I'm my Spanish is getting a lot better.
Good.
People in Mexico City do not like, I think I've talked about this. Like in other countries, people approach me and they assume English. So I'm like, oh, okay, you're speaking English to me, great. Not approaching English here. Never. I'm always like, what? Okay. I've mastered how to say, sorry, I don't speak a lot of Spanish. But my Spanish has gotten better and I'm starting to understand more because I'm getting used to it. But when I'm about to get my period, my brain doesn't work as good. I don't know if that's anybody else's. Is it the blood flow? I don't know. And so I wanted to go for a long walk yesterday. And then I was like, okay, now I'm getting hungry. I want to find somewhere to eat. And just in my brain, I went, ah. I really just want somebody to speak English with, like, I just felt like mentally tired. Like I had this energy to go for a long walk, but I just was feeling that, like I was like, I just don't think I can do Spanish right now.
Yeah.
I've been trying so hard. I've been practicing every day at home. Like I'm getting a lot better, but I was like, I just really want to speak with someone in English today. That would be really nice. And then I was walked past a couple of places where I was like, maybe I'll go in there. And then my intuition was like, no. And I was like, okay, keep walking. And then I saw the place. It was like, oh, the skies opened up. I was like, that's the one. So I walk in and immediately my mind is blank. I don't remember how to say table for one in Spanish. And I just kind of point and I go, sit. Because I was also confused. I was like, do I order at the counter first or do I have a waiter, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went and I was like, sit. English came out of my mouth. And the guy looks at me and goes, oh, do you speak English? And he had he barely even had an accent. And I was like, oh my God, I manifested my English speaker. And he was like,
amazing.
He was like, this isn't my section, but I'll take care of you. And so whatever. I had the most delicious tacos. It was great. I had my Mexican Coke. But then we were talking a little bit more. And the craziest part was that he was like, oh, like, where are you from? And I said, oh, Wisconsin, US. He's like, oh, United States. He goes, oh, I used to live there, but I lived in LA. And I was like, no way. Like, I actually lived in LA for quite a few years, for quite a long time. And I was like, oh, well, not LA, Redondo Beach. And he was like,
yeah,
I lived in Long Beach, not too far over. And I was like, oh my God, when you're in a different country, that's practically neighbors.
Yeah.
Now. And so then we were just talking, he was like, he's saying, oh yeah, you just take the whatever highway, you're there in 20-30 minutes, and he's like, it's so beautiful there. Da, da, da. And so not only did I have someone that spoke English, but somebody that just kind of felt
connect to,
and it was like a piece of home, like somebody that was talking about, my home, like somewhere that I lived. It means a lot to me. And it just felt so nice. And it just put a little skip in my step and a little glow in my heart. And I was like, I just feel like I manifested that.
I love that.
And it gave me my energy back. And it was just really cute. And it made my day. So that was my manifestation.
It just made me think. So I've been talking to this Italian creator. She's also a reader. And I was like, I really like her energy. Like I would love to get a reading with her. But I don't know if she speaks English. So I DM'd her in Italian. And I was like, my Italian's like really bad. She was like, oh, like I live in the UK. So if you want to speak English, that's fine. But we've been speaking, I was telling my brother about it and he keeps calling it Italianish. So we've been like Spanglish. We've been doing this back together where like I was like, oh, like vivo a Nashville, like penso che sei ore time difference.
Yeah. That's literally how I speak here. Yeah. Spanish. Yeah.
She's like texting me, and she's like, what did she say? she's like in tutti or whatever. I don't know. She keeps also like doing things back and forth, and we're just like texting back and forth.
That's so fun.
In like half Italian, half English, and I love it. It's very. She was like mercoledì ci sono mattina. Thursday is also good, but anytime.
Like it's like Wednesday in Italian.
Yeah.
Thursday. That's so funny.
Yeah.
By the way, I will say, okay, so I downloaded Duolingo again, but
fantastic.
It sucks ass. I don't learn anything. I just memorize words.
That's why I've been loving this, because I actually have someone to like practice. Talk to. Yeah.
Well, I was like, I want to learn. I'm here, obviously. And I literally, I'm like, I'm going to travel around Latin America until I can fucking speak Spanish fluently. I don't care how long it takes. I'm doing it.
3 more years.
3 years later.
What happened to St. Augustine?
It's like, I'm fucking doing it. But I was like, I need to learn faster. Like, I want to be able to.
Rapido.
Rapido. And obviously it is great. I'm happy to be in a place where people actually don't assume English and do speak to me in Spanish. It's really nice because it forces me to learn. But then I was like, okay, well, I'll read down Duolingo. And then I was like, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
It teaches you nonsense. It doesn't help. I did it I had a 6-month streak, learned nothing. I can get all the answers right. It's just a memorization thing. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So I was on the search for a better app, but that also was like free or at least low cost.
Yeah.
So I started getting all these ads for it. So I started trying all these different ones to see what would be the best. I was like, every ad, I was like, great, another one. Like, let's try.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of like AI ones now where you can like practice speaking. A lot of them are like, I mean, they're not crazy. It's like $100 for a year. So I guess it's not crazy, but I was like, I don't know. I was like, I just want to find something that I don't have to pay for right now.
Yeah.
I found an app that I'm really liking. It's called Falo, Falo. Oh, you can't see. But, what's it? Yeah, FA. This is what the app looks like. Or here, let me show you it's right here. This little blue guy with the face. But it just dives right in. It doesn't try to make you memorize. You can do words and stuff, but the course itself, it dives right in and it has a really good, so basically like, I don't know why I'm doing an at work one right now, but whatever. It has you do all these different ways but it's like the same conversation, but the conversation's pretty advanced. And you have to like, first it has you just speak it, but you're reading it in Spanish, and then it has you like do it like writing, and then it has you try to speak it without seeing it in Spanish. You just have to listen and repeat it, but it can it's the recording aspect, it listening to you speak is really good. Which for me, it's.
Are you wearing your green rings on your right hand? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Every time you go over the green screen, they go. And I just noticed it. And I was like,
God, that's so funny. Why doesn't my green shirt disappear?
I don't know.
Wait, do you want to see something really funny? Hold on. If everybody's watching. Okay, when I first if you actually click the I have a green screen button on here. Wait, where's it does something crazy.
Oh. Oh. Tell us a really crazy message right now. Start channeling.
Before it actually only had my teeth. It looked like the cat in Alice in Wonderland. What's his name? Anyways.
Cheshire Cat.
The Cheshire Cat.
Okay, anyways, please continue.
The Falo app, it makes you ask you to do premium 1 million times, but you don't need to do it. I'm doing the free version. But it's pretty hard, and it makes you just learn how to speak. And it's just it's in different past tense, future tense, whatever, different tenses and stuff. And I think that's the best way to learn, is just be really immersed and have the conversations. And the Duolingo conversations are absolute fucking nonsense.
Such nonsense.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be at work or whatever here, but it's teaching me like it's like real normal conversations that you have with somebody, and there's different ones. And it's like, it's quite challenging, and it makes you speak a lot. And that's my problem, is that I understand quite a bit. It took me a minute when I got here because the accents, that people talk fast and the accents are different in different places. So it took me about a week, but I'm understanding more. But I really just, it's the confidence thing. I think I know how to say more than I give myself credit for. But I'm not super, I know a lot of words, but I don't know how to like the different tenses and stuff.
Oh my God,
yeah,
the
like
tenses get me.
I can speak in present tense pretty well. But if I'm trying to say like, oh, when I was a kid in the past or whatever, but I'm getting around very comfortably now with just being at restaurants, and you know, I made a friend that's local, so I'm trying to practice more with him. But yeah, I'm like, I'll just stay in. I love it here though.
Good.
In Mexico.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm trying to decide where to go next. But anyways, I like that app for learning.
I just downloaded it.
I think it's better. I'm curious what you think. We'll circle back next week, but I think it helps you learn faster because you're just forced to be immersed in it, and it's more difficult. Duolingo, I'm like, yeah, I can memorize all these words, but I don't know how to speak.
Because they reuse the same sentences over and over again. I can read pretty well, but like when I watch that girl's stories, oh my God, I feel like Italians talk so fast. I'm just like,
that's how I feel like when I'm listening to people speak Spanish here in Mexico City. I'm like,
I know, by the time I catch up, they're like 3 conversations ahead of me, and I'm like, see. Yeah.
I've met so many people, like I'll get through like ordering, and then they'll have like one more question, and I'm like, no, I'm just like, wait, I just do a head now. I'm like, they're like, da da da. I'm like,
I
don't understand, and they're like, it's okay, and they just go. I'm like, I don't know what they're asking me. But got there so far, okay. But it's fun. It's fun to learn a new language. I'm happy, excited. It's nice to be when you travel around different countries really fast, or like, I don't go super fast, but like traveling around Asia, for example, like every country has a different language. But when you're in like Central and South America, most of them speak Spanish. Brazil speaks Portuguese. I think that's the only one. So it's kind of cool where I'm like, okay, I can like actually work on, and I studied Spanish in school. I just forgot it all from not practicing. But I'm like, I can actually keep traveling different countries and continue to learn the same language. It's not like, when I was in Korea, I try to learn like hi, bye, and thank you, or when I was in different countries, I try to learn the like hello, goodbye, thank you in that country. But that's as much as you can get in, really.
Yeah.
When you're like spending maybe a month somewhere. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Amazing.
Claiming my bilingual era. Look at her.
Look at us.
It's embarrassing. Everyone's like, oh, well, that's because you're American. But it's embarrassing traveling around. People are like, oh, what other language do you speak? And I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
A little Russian, a little Spanish, but not enough to be able to actually claim it.
Good.
As bilingual. But here we go. Making it happen.
New goals.
Well, this was a random episode, but I think it was pretty fun. Did everybody have fun?
I had
fun. A good time for just pulling it out of our asses. I think it went pretty well.
Yeah.
Let's pull.
Should we pull a card?
Or a couple cards? We're supposed to go live right now, but well, maybe not this week.
Well,
I'm kind of tired.
I am also very tired.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, that was loud.
Okay, the cards are just like, I'm literally like trying to stop shuffling and seeing if a card flies out, and they're just sticking to me. Okay.
My cards were getting so sticky the other day. You know what? Let's try shuffling like this.
Well, I got the High Priestess. Let me begin. I got the High Priestess. And I feel like this does kind of, I
I'm trying to
mean,
do it like away from my microphone, but it feels so loud still.
it's ASMR. Okay, I'm trying to do that's a cat noise. I'm trying to do a card flip noise. Is that good? Yes.
Let's do this. Okay, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Sorry, everybody. Okay. I got the High Priestess. I feel, High Priestess is very connected to intuition, of course, and also just like our spiritual self. So I feel like this is just validating what we already talked about with this full moon and really like not only surrendering, but leaning in to what you're experiencing, remembering like the full moon, it exaggerates or it intensifies what is there. So it's really, really good, important information. And some of you might be feeling more alive and more creative and more hyped on this full moon. Great. Lean into that. Create.
Yeah.
Go into the flow. Have a season of hustle. Like that feels fucking good when you are there and you have that energy. Lean into it.
Yeah.
But then some of us, myself, and it's also, I mean, if your cycle coincides with the moon cycles, that's why it's called a moon cycle. That's what they call our periods, our moon sometimes. But if you're in a place where you are feeling that like heavier energy, where you are feeling slower, less energized, maybe anxious or more triggered or irritable, it's like lean into that. Don't get upset with yourself for experiencing those things. Just like try to decipher that information through the lens of like neutrality and what that means. I think like that's like the High Priestess is like just like almost like separating from your ego self and having that like examination.
Yeah.
And like what's really going on here. It's like this is you, your spiritual self, going like, oh, that's cute. My human self is having these human experiences. What does that mean for me? And how can I more closely align with my inner High Priestess and not let this human stuff mean something about me or like get to me so deeply?
Yeah, that kind of goes with mine because I have the Five of Wands, which was actually in my collective reading for the week. I can't remember if it was A or B. Actually, that's what I was trying to look up, but it's gone away. So I should have to do it on my phone to go into the archives. But the Five of Wands, it was in group A.
Oh, that's the one I picked. I was like, I feel like that's the one I got.
Yeah, so the Five of Wands, if you look, so I was trying to use my like Disney villains deck for the Halloween theme for October, but I picked this is not that deck right now. But if you look, the Five of Wands, this is more close. The artwork is more close, what am I saying wrong?
Closer.
Thank you.
More closerist.
Yes. To the original Rider-Waite artwork. But if you're looking, there's obviously 5 of them, and they look like they're all fighting, but none of them are actually like making contact, and none of them are actually like hitting each other. So a lot of what this card is like, I'm kind of feeling that like Aries energy of like being like ready to go. So
like, kind of
aware, be aware of that. And then also like the Five of Wands can also indicate a lot of like ego stories.
Yeah.
Like where are you fighting with your ego a lot? So just to be aware of that and like using your intuition, like, okay, like is this
like are you really
like
are you fighting something real, or is this like
like am I
it's like examining your triggers? Is this person really the thing that's pissing you off, or is it something you need to deal with in yourself almost?
Yeah, exactly.
Where is this coming from? Is it I mean, it's all real if we're experiencing it, but like, is it like something you need to make into a whole like you need to get so like worked up about it, or is it something that you can just be like, oh, that's interesting?
Yes. Yeah.
And like
kind of just take note.
Take note
of where
happy
these.
full moon in Aries.
Hooray.
The energy is a little aggressive, but
It's a little intense.
but we're gonna lean into it.
Yeah.
You're releasing rituals tonight.
Stay
Learn some
hydrated.
shit.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated. Drink your water.
Yeah. Watch your candles. Don't,
Yeah.
For-
Don't leave your candles unattended. Burn carefully and at your own
Yeah.
risk. Thanks, Giggly Witches. Thanks, Pam.
Thanks, Sadie. Hey, thanks.
Hey, this was a great episode for just
Wait.
literally, we were sitting here, we were waiting on our guest, and then she was like, oh my goodness, something popped up. I'm so sorry. And so we were just like, all right, hit record. Let's see what happens. So I'm proud of us. I think we did pretty
I
good.
am too. Good job.
That's to you too.
Remember how we used to all do that? Like,
yes. Wow. I feel like my world is spinning right now. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. If you're not watching, we're pounding our chest and then doing the like, oh,
peace sign.
chucking the deuces. That's what we always say.
Chuck the deuces. Yikes. Okay.
Yikes. All right. Thanks, Giggly Witches. Happy full moon. Follow us. We're at Giggly Witches on Instagram and TikTok. You can tune in on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you like to tune in. Leave us a review if you're on Apple or Spotify. It helps us a lot. We appreciate you. And you can find me at I am Sadie Olson on Instagram and TikTok. And you can find Magic with Sadie on YouTube, where I'm dropping new tapping videos every week. I also have a full moon meditation on my YouTube. You can go do that right now. And also, as Pam requested last week, I did a grounding.
I did see that.
Guided tapping. So check that out if you're feeling a little ungrounded this full moon. It's also intended to be like a great, just like daily one. Like I do like a little body scan in it and stuff, and it's less than 10 minutes. So great to fit into your schedule. I'm doing Hot Witch Tarot readings if you're interested. And if you want to be in the November round of the Hot Witch Scripting Club, where we're writing our dreams into existence, and then throughout the month, I'm dropping into our group chat to just keep you motivated, keep the momentum going. Today I dropped in and just channeled some messages about the full moon and the halfway point, like checking in on our goals this month and all that. It's only $29 a month and you get a great support system. We meet live once a month. It's super fun. So get on the wait list because I only open it for like 2 days at the very end of the month, because I want everyone to be like on the same page, did the scripting, we're doing the whole month. I don't want you to join halfway through the month and be like, wait, what are we doing? So get on the wait list and come join us for November. October has been very fun and inspiring, and it's just so great to have all this. It's a very small group right now, so it's a great time to get in and just be in an intimate space with me and other witches who are writing their dream lives into existence and taking inspired action and just doing all the amazing things. What about you, Pam? Make sure you message Pam if you didn't already.
Yeah. I'm Pam. You can find me at
Hey, I'm Pam.
I just had a surprise visit from my friend Kate last week, and it reminded me of when we were on Warped Tour, and I don't know why, but for some reason I introduced myself to someone like, "Oh, I am Pam." And then they made fun of me for the rest of the summer. Like Pam. I was like, "Oh, I am Pam." So anyway, I am Pam. You can find me at Velvet Snake Oracle on TikTok and Instagram. And I have tarot readings, as mentioned earlier in this episode. And
on sale for a limited time.
25% off. 25% off and already like very low price. BH.
Thanks.
So those are one-on-one readings. And yeah, and then definitely please give me your input on all of the questions mentioned earlier. And yeah, that's all I got.
All right, love ya. Bye, witches.